Break it down. Give me 5 people you ready to fight right now.
Timothy Bradley, Paul,
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather, Devin Alexander, and whoever the fan wants to see.
Yeah. Listen, I told you give them something visual, so you in the head and made your own YouTube-based TV show. It's an array of IPAs and fighters on the road. Got a question? Put them in your comment section right below. Barbershop talk while you're sitting in your living room. Pacquiao, Mayweather, and we can't forget the brews. Coming to you live with the scoops like a ladle. Allow me to introduce the boxing round table. Yeah.
You motherfucking tube. It's your boy Rollo Jenkins here. Man, oh man. About to give y'all my motherfucking Tim Tebow list and my Buster Douglas list. My Tim Tebow list consists of this here. Guys who were just good enough to make it, but really not shit. You know what I'm saying? Just good enough for me to even be mentioning their names, but not really good fighters. Then we got the Buster Douglas Awards, where these motherfuckers made a history off really beating one guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they had other fights, but that one fight changed the course of their history to be mentioned. You know what I'm saying? With a bunch of other fighters when they only really won one fight, you know? The first one on my list is Hasim Rahman. Now, I couldn't tell you one fight that Hasim Rahman won outside of Lennox Lewis. I mean, he decked his ass. Had that nigga looking sleepy in the ring. But after that, I can't tell you one other fight that motherfucker won. And if he did win some more fights, they would, you know what I'm saying? Who the fuck was it again? Freza Kendo? You know? Maybe, I think that he beat Freza Kendo. I don't know if y'all remember that. Hispanic heavyweight. Oh, man. Another guy on my Buster Douglas Award, Layman Brewster. Now, he beat Vladimir Klitschko. That was his claim to fame. You know what I'm saying? And he'll forever be remembered because when you look back at one of the greatest reigns in the heavyweight division, you're going to look at, well, who beat these guys? And Layman Brewster's name is going to be on there. But outside of that, I mean, I can't remember another fight that he won of any significance. Now, he was in one of the best heavyweight fights that I ever seen. Sergey Lankowitz, this Russian guy. These motherfuckers had the best heavyweight fight that I can remember. You know what I mean? That was the best heavyweight fight. Man, that shit was off the chain. But I believe he lost that fight. And like I said, still to this day, his claim to fame is being one of the only guys outside of Corey Sanders to knock out Vladimir Klitschko. Another guy on my list, way more famous, way more recognizable. He had many more fights, but none that he won. This name won't surprise you, but when I read off a couple of his fights, you say, damn, you know, maybe you're right. Ricardo the Tasmanian Devil Mayorga. That motherfucker was one entertaining son of a bitch. But somehow, some way, he ended up in the ring with Vernon Forrest after his 2 wins against Shane Mosley. And I'm thinking, all right, this motherfucker beat Shane Mosley, undefeated welterweight champ Shane Mosley, and he got caught. I was like, all right, it happens, They rematch, and I'm thinking to myself, he gonna outbox him. Hell, he outboxed Shane Mosley. You know what I'm saying? Be able to outbox this guy. And this dude loses a 12-round decision to Ricardo Mayorga, right? So then Ricardo Mayorga goes on to lose to Corey Spinks. And I'm thinking, man, finally somebody got rid of this guy. No, Oscar De La Hoya wants to dig this guy up out the grave. Then Felix Trinidad wants to dig him out the grave. Then Shane Mosley wants to dig him out the grave. Then Miguel Cotto wants to dig him out the grave. This motherfucker got on 2 pay-per-views and about 3 or 4 headlines, like main event cards, off beating Vernon Forrest. Really, one time. I mean, it was the first knockout. You know what I'm saying? So, with that fight, that shit really put him on the map in a way that really no other fighter has been put on the map by one fight or one fighter. Because I couldn't tell you anybody else that Ricardo Mayorga beat, for real. You know what I'm saying? Another guy on my list is Fernando Vargas. Now, Fernando Vargas was a good prospect. And he got what some consider a gift decision against Winky Wright. And that propelled him to bigger fights. But he lost them all. He lost to Trinidad. He lost to De La Hoya. He lost twice to Shane Mosley. And I can't even remember if he fought after he lost his second fight to Shane Mosley. But outside of him beating Winky Wright, I can't tell you another significant fight that he won. Not one other significant fight, but he'll always be remembered in history as having great fights with Tito Trinidad and, being a rival to Oscar De La Hoya. Number 1 on my fucking Buster Douglas list. And this dude was absolutely nobody. He was supposed to be nobody. And he got lucky. Landed a fight against a dude that he was supposed to lose against. Happened to beat this guy. And ended up being a bridging gap. Like, just in the way and shit. And that dude was Carlos Baldomir. Now, Carlos Baldomir beat Zab Judah, of course we know this. And then he goes on to lose to Floyd Mayweather, right? Now, Carlos Baldomir, I can't tell you any other significant fights that he won. I believe that, I can't remember if he got knocked out or decisioned against Vernon Forrest. He did beat Antero Gotti, which, fuck, everybody beat Antero Gotti. And that was pretty much it. I can't remember Carlos Baldomir landing any significant fights outside of Zab Judah. I mean, you beat Zab. I mean, you literally go from the dude who was supposed to be a tune-up fight for Mayweather to being on pay-per-view fight Mayweather. And even though I can't call this fight a cherry pick, because he legitimately was the champ. You know what I'm saying? And him and Zab never fought again. Surprisingly, there was no rematch clause because they probably had the the Zab and Mayweather fight set up already. But to claim the championship from a guy like Carlos Baldomir was shit. I mean, I'm not faulting Floyd, but that being your championship fight, the dude who you beat for the championship, man, god damn, dog. All of the talented fucking welterweight champions that were, and he was the one to beat Carlos Baldomir, who had the title for one fight, right? Hey, you know, what can I say? But my Tim Tebow Award goes to motherfucking Victor Ortiz. You know, everybody, you know, they talked about this guy. He was so good, and, you know, and all of this shit. And we were expecting big things from Victor Ortiz, and he showed up small all the time. Maidana, you know, tapped that ass. He fought to a draw with Lamont Peterson. You know, he got his, you know, he had a tough fight with Josecito Lopez. He went life and death with Andre Berto, which now looks way worse. You know what I'm saying? That fight, them two going toe to toe, you know what I'm saying? Life and death, fight of the year type shit, looks that much worse now, you know what I'm saying, than it did before. I mean, it was a good win at the time, great win at the time. But now, in hindsight, you like, god damn, you went fucking life and death with Andre Berto, nigga who just got knocked out by Soto Carras. So, Victor Ortiz definitely gets one of my Tim Tebow Awards. Another guy who gets a Tim Tebow Award is Juan Lopez. Juan Manuel Lopez. Juanma. That was my dude, man. I fucking love watching Juanma fight. But I'm going to tell you when I realized Juanma wasn't shit. Juanma fought one of my other favorite fighters. I was amped for this fight. I was so excited when I heard that these two were fighting. Rafael Marquez. I was like, yeah, this gonna be a good fight. And it was. It was a great fight. But the fucked up thing was, Marquez hurt his shoulder, and you can clearly see that he wasn't throwing his right hand. So all he had was a left hook. And he still made it a fucking good fight, man. He still made it a fucking damn near fight of the year candidate fight. And I couldn't understand why they didn't fight again, because the dude quit because his fucking shoulder was fucked up. He didn't throw his right hand. You could clearly see that this shit was fucked up. And when Juanma couldn't put away Marquez, who only had one arm, I knew he wasn't gonna be shit. It was just a matter of time. You know what I'm saying? It was just a matter of time. And when they were talking about him and Gamboa was fighting, shit, I was like, man, Gamboa gonna fucking, he might fuck around and kill that man for real. He definitely wasn't gonna be shit. Another guy who kind of disappointed me, and you know, I'll give him a Tim Tebow Award too, because he had an opportunity and he overachieved by beating one guy, and he just kind of fell the fuck off. He, you know, Tim Tebow after the Jets, you know what I'm saying? He just fucking disappeared. Was I don't know if y'all guys remember this guy fighting at like 130 pounds, Zaire Rahim. I always thought he was a good fighter, and he had a chance against Eric Morales, and he beat Eric Morales. And this was in between Eric Morales' fights, first two fights with Manny Pacquiao. And when Pacquiao still fought Morales instead of Zahir Rahim, I thought that was kind of a bitch move, but I mean, it was a money move, I suppose, so that's cool. So I figured, all right, he took care of Eric Morales. Now he should be fighting Zahir Rahim. But Zahir Rahim wasn't making no noise. And the next thing you know, he was just gone. You know what I mean? He was just gone. You know, so I don't know what the fuck happened to Zahir Rahim, but I thought that he was gonna make, you know what I'm saying, a push once he beat Eric Morales, especially after Morales had beat Pacquiao. And another guy that I thought had a lot of promise, and I was like, man, I can't wait to see this guy fight, you know, Fernando Vargas or Oscar De La Hoya. He gonna get there eventually. And the dude never really quite made it. His name was Kasim Uma. He was an African fighter. I want to say from Uganda, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but he's somewhere from, you know, Africa. They used to call him the Puma or something. And Kasim the Puma Uma, I believe. And he fought on Friday Night Fights a bunch of times. But I think that, I want to say he lost to JC Candello, I believe. You know what I'm saying? My memory is a little foggy with him. I probably should have pulled up box rec or something. But I believe he lost to JC Candello. And after that loss, it just started going downhill from there. You know what I mean? But I heard that he's trying to make a comeback. I'm hoping that he does. I always thought he was a good fighter, good action fighter, had a good chin. Wasn't the heaviest puncher, but, you know, I believe he punched effectively enough, you know. But and he just started losing fights and falling off, man. I was like, damn, what the fuck? How the fuck this dude beat Uma, man? So that's one of those guys I would definitely give a Tebow Award to. You know, I'm sure there's other guys that I'll think of after I upload this video, and maybe I'll make another one. But those are my guys for my Tebow list and my Buster Douglas list. It's your boy Rollo Jenkins. I like
Listen, I told you give them something visual, so you in the head and made your own YouTube-based TV show. It's an array of IPAs and fighters on the road. Got a question? Put them in your comment section right below. Barbershop talk while you're sitting in your living room. Pacquiao, Mayweather, and we can't forget the bruise. Coming to you live with the scoops like a ladle. Allow me to introduce the boxing round table. Yeah.
Rollo Jenkins, boxologist. Zone 6, Dre, BT Pound, 78 Fight News, Blood Boxing, Blood Fists, Boxing Beats and Rhymes, Female Boxing Fan, Carter J, Pull Counter, Joker Boxing, D Styles, the whole YTBC.